All right, it is 3 o'clock. Thank you to everyone for joining us for the February 4th, 2026 regular quarterly meeting of the Transportation Safety Advisory Committee. The time is 3 o'clock p.m. and we'll begin with a roll call. When I say your name, please say here or present. Al Schmidt is not present. Chris Depke,
Present.
Frank Trapasso,
Present.
Denise Fortenberry,
Here.
John Wall,
Here.
Sharon Brimhall,
Here.
and Josh Cook.
Present.
With 6 of 7 members present, a quorum is declared.
Thank you, Amanda. Would you all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for joining us today. In case you're not aware, I am Chris Depke, the Vice Chair. Mr. Schmidt was unable to attend today, so I'm filling in. Nobody signed up for citizens to be heard, but still, if anybody wishes to speak, if you would please use the podium because the meeting is being recorded and will be posted online at a future date. Please limit your comments to 5 minutes. State who you are, a resident, representing a company or an organization. That said, our first item of business is the consent agenda. And it is the approval of the November 5th, 2025 Transportation Safety Advisory Committee meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A motion to approve.
Motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Sounds unanimous. Then we move on to the consideration and discussion items. And the first item is the consideration and possible action on a citizen request to place a stop sign on Fair Oaks Parkway at Triple Crown. And we're depending on Carol to make the presentation.
Good afternoon, Vice Chairperson Depke and committee members. Welcome back from the holiday season. Hope you had a good one. Good to see everyone on such a beautiful day today. What you have before you this afternoon is a citizen submittal, which starts on page 5 of your meeting packet. The submittal is for consideration of a stop sign on Fair Oaks Parkway at the intersection of Triple Crown. The submitter noted exiting from Triple Crown onto the parkway is becoming dangerous due to a blind curve on the northbound lane of the parkway prior to Triple Crown. In the meeting packet, staff provided the following information. Police traffic stops during the period of October 2024 and 2025 at the 8500 block of Fair Oaks Parkway, 14 warnings and 2 citations for speeding were issued. At the 8600 block, 18 warnings and 4 citations. On Triple Crown, no warnings or citations have been issued during that 1-year period. Next, we provided reported traffic accidents. We utilized the TxDOT traffic crash system. They reported from December 2005 through December 2025, 2 accidents. One involved a wild animal and one involved a driver failing to yield to oncoming vehicle. The criteria for a multi-stop is 5 or more crashes in a 12-month period that is accessible to correction by a multi-stop installation. The city has no traffic complaints on file related to this intersection. Next, the city did reach out to our general contractor who has addressed the site distance concern. The contractor exhibits depicting this intersection starts on page 9 of the packet. Their analysis and potential mitigations to address the concerns are provided on page 5 and 6. Grant, the city's Public Works Director, is with us today and can answer any questions that you have on those depictions of the site distance. The next piece of information that we provided in the packet is we did perform a vehicle count with our radar feedback sign. The performance was done from January 15th through the 19th, both the northbound and southbound directions of Fair Oaks Parkway, and on Triple Crown. The data is shown on page 17 and 18, and in summary, during an 8-hour period, Fair Oaks Parkway northbound, the highest number of vehicles per hour was less than 300. The criteria for a multi-stop sign is 300. For southbound, the highest number of vehicles per hour was less than 310. Again, this criteria would be 300 for a multi-stop. The highest number of vehicles per hour on Triple Crown during an 8-hour period was 30. The criteria is 200. Staff's mitigation efforts to date, based on the data that we have performed, including the general contractors, is we moved the stop bar and the stop sign on Triple Crown further forward towards the parkway to help mitigate the sight distance from the left as you're exiting the Triple Crown onto the parkway. We also will be adding additional cautionary signs on Triple Crown and on Fair Oaks Parkway, both directions. These signs are depicted on page 7. And I do have a slide, I believe, that can show, no, I'm sorry, that one. This one is showing where Triple Crown is the road at the bottom where the stop bar and the stop sign has moved, and then the cautionary signs would be on both parkways, advising drivers that there's an intersection ahead, beware. The traffic does not stop. As the multi-stop signs does not meet, the request for a multi-stop sign does not meet the criteria of the Texas Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which is further detailed on page 6, and I mentioned the criteria earlier in this presentation. And road safety improvements, as depicted, have been or are being made, providing enhanced visibility. Staff recommends a denial of the submission. We thank you for your time, and we're available to answer any questions. And also with us, we have Julie, our finance manager, who can help with any questions on the graphs.
Just clarify, moving the stop bar is what we did at front gate also, correct?
Mm-hmm.
To help alleviate some of that sight distance issue.
Yes, correct.
Comments from the committee? Frank? Frank, do you have no comments?
No
Okay,
comment.
Denise, you want?
I don't really have any comments, no. So these improvements are going to be made.
Yes, the signs are on order. They may already be here. I haven't checked this week, but they are going up as quickly as possible, yes.
First of all, I think my commendations to staff and to Legacy. I think they did a great job on analyzing the site distances. My compliments to them and giving us the information. It appears to me that the stop bar has already been moved. Is that correct, Grant?
Yes, sir, that's correct. The stop sign and
Yeah.
the stop bar have been moved forward.
And I was there an hour ago, but I didn't notice whether the advisory signs had been put up yet or not.
No.
Those are in order.
Okay. I think it's clear that the criteria for a stop sign is not met according to the Texas Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices. The 3 items that are recommended, this intersection doesn't qualify for any of those. So I could not be in favor of placing a stop sign at that location or a set of stop signs. And I think if we did, it would become a precedent-setting thing, and we'd be putting stop signs at every intersection on the Parkway. And I think that's a bad idea. That's my comments. Thank you.
Sharon, do you have?
Ditto to whatever John said, but especially thanks to the staff for their comprehensive analysis of this situation. Very well done.
Oh, sorry, we appreciate that. We heard you last year, and we really worked hard to improve. So thank you very much. I'll let the entire staff know.
Josh?
Yeah, no, I concur with the report. I mean, when I looked through it, it was very detailed. Citizen who submitted this, have anything to say? Or is anybody?
They are not in attendance,
Okay.
and yes, didn't have any follow-up comments.
Pretty straightforward. From the data that was provided, kind of answered the question primarily. And the only other comment is, is it worth taking a look at all the different stop bars along the Parkway, and
I noticed when Mr. Piper
Yeah.
published the agenda for this meeting on his next-door neighbor website, he received several comments, all of which I think were opposed to a stop sign at that location. So, Chris, if you're ready for a motion, I can.
Well, let me just say, I want to thank city staff for making a recommendation and not just throwing an item out there for us to throw back and forth. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I am ready for a motion to approve the stop sign installation. Robert's Rules asks for positive statements, not negative statements. So I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the request to place a stop sign on Fair Oaks Parkway at Triple Crown. Do I hear a motion?
So Mr. Debke is correct. The motion would be in the affirmative, and you would either vote for or against it.
You would vote against
So
it
if you're
not.
voting for the approval, to approve the submission, and you don't want to do it, you would just vote no instead of for it. But the motion should be in the affirmative.
So in other words, we need a second so that
We
you
need
can
to have
take
a
a vote.
motion.
You need to have a
Okay.
motion so
Yeah.
you can vote for or against it.
Okay, I second.
So, John, you-
who is the first?
Oh, sorry, I thought it was,
Are you willing to make the motion in the positive, saying to approve?
Sure.
It does not mean that's how you're going to vote. You're just
Right.
putting it on the table. Yes, perfect.
So we have a motion on the table to approve the request to install stop signs at Triple Crown. All those in favor? All those against?
Say, yeah,
Aye.
no, aye.
Nay?
or nay,
Hey,
I oppose.
Okay, it's 7, I'm sorry. It's
0 to
Six.
6.
6 to 0.
Zero
0 to 6, I'm sorry.
Yes.
0 to 6. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, now you're relieved. Now it's all up to us. The second item on the consent agenda is to make recommendations on our rules and procedures. And there are several listed, and I would like to go through them basically one at a time. And first discuss them, and then maybe get a feel for how we feel about that item, and then move on to another one, and hopefully handle this maybe all with one motion. And if we can all basically agree on everything. The first item is paragraph 4.3, and Al Schmidt proposed this one, and in an email today, he withdrew. Is that right?
Yeah, he said
Or did he
staff.
change it?
He
He changed it.
changed it to staff instead of chairperson.
Instead of the chairperson shall present committee votes, he wanted to be the staff shall present committee votes and decisions. The other big change was that it was decisions and each request submission, whether we approved it or not. I've looked at this and I'd like to propose something else instead. This is the chairperson's duties, not the staff duties. So I don't think it's appropriate to say here, the staff will do something. What I would like to propose, actually, let me hand it out. I would like to propose the wording be, The chairperson shall be present at city council meetings when committee recommendations and/or actions are presented to the council. The chairperson may designate a committee member if the vice chairman is also unavailable. Now, to go along with that, that would then mean we would need to add a paragraph 13(1)G, which is city staff responsibilities. And I propose that to read, the city staff shall present all committee recommendations to the city council for their action and inform the council of other committee business. The chairperson may act for the staff if necessary. And this is the way it's really happening now, isn't it? The staff is presenting our items to the council, and Al or I have been there kind of as a backup to answer any questions that staff might not be able to answer.
I think Al asked me to go to one of them. and neither
That-
one of y'all
yeah.
would go to that.
Yeah, or one of us anyhow, yes, yeah.
Chairperson or the designee, or does it even need to say that?
Well, it's chairperson, and if he can't, then I'm supposed
Yeah.
to, but then the chairperson can designate a third person, yeah, if I'm not available.
Well, should we add chairperson / vice chair?
Well, the vice chair is always supposed to fill for the chair, so I think that's
All right.
So I guess
That's understood.
by definition, the first 4.3
Yeah,
kind
I
of
think
sets that up.
I think that one makes more sense than Al's, and I think it, Carol, would that eliminate that conflict that we have down there in CV2?
5.1,
Actually, if
This
I,
one created a conflict down here.
yeah.
actually, if we could have the verbiage for 4.3 again, and then let me look at it as I'm typing it to answer your question. So if you could relay 4.3 again.
There it is. Chairperson, these are chairperson responsibilities, this whole paragraph 4.
Officers' duties, yes.
So, the chairperson shall be present at city council meetings when committee recommendations or actions are presented to the council. Chairperson may designate a committee member if the vice chair is also unavailable. So we're asking for backup for city staff from the committee. But then we have to state that it is the staff's responsibility in 13.1G that the city staff shall present all committee recommendations to the city council for their action and inform the council of other committee business. The chairperson may act for the staff if necessary. Now, it is a little vague on what committee business is, but that's for council, I think, to say what they want to hear about.
Okay, so I'm sorry, repeat 13G. Staff,
The city staff shall present all committee recommendations to the city council
well, hold on, thanks. Shall present all
committee recommendations to the city council for their action and inform the council of other committee business. The chairperson may act for the staff if necessary. Other comments from the committee?
Just one clarification on 4.3. At city council meetings when committee recommendations and/or actions are presented to council. What would be the scenario that it's an action and not a recommendation?
I say a non-recommendation, something we're not recommending, that's an action we took. To not recommend something, or possibly just asking for a report. Does the city want to know if we're asking for something? Does the council want to know if we're asking for something?
Perfect. Yep. Thank you.
Other comments? You like it that way?
I like
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask then, do we have general agreement on paragraphs 4.3 and 13.1G?
Yes.
Permanent.
Yes.
Okay. 5.1 is still possibly an issue.
So,
the
yes.
word affirmative. Do you want to say anything about that, Carol? 5.1, where you just mentioned to
Oh,
her.
yeah.
I did.
Whether we need to leave the word affirmative committee vote in that statement, the purpose of the committee.
So,
We're kind of saying we just want to, don't necessarily have to be affirmative to be,
what
Our
you just
action.
detailed in 4.3 was all recommendations and actions. This says with an affirmative vote, so you,
that's what I'm
Discuss
thinking, we
that.
would take out the word affirmative here.
that's the discussion amongst yourselves,
And
yes.
that's what I,
Take out affirmative committee vote and then
no, just affirmative.
take out affirmative. Okay.
So
Yes, and
it-
then
it
then we
read-
would be presenting all of our actions to the council, right?
We review issues submitted to the committee, and after due consideration and vote, committee vote, we recommend action for council consideration. And in essence, a negative vote is recommending an action, isn't it? So we recommended not approving the first issue today. It wasn't an approval, so there is no city action actually required, or council action required. Comments, think? John?
Well, I almost think you ought to leave affirmative in there, Chris, because, for example, the last vote we just took was a negative vote. We recommended not to recommend anything to council. So that should not even go before council. That stop sign for consideration, for example, should not go to city council.
But does council want to hear that it was defeated? Just reported to them.
Yeah.
I think council has a lot to consider already. Things.
It would seem to me that if we don't vote affirmatively, then it shouldn't even go to council for considerations.
So there has been some council discussion recently, and
Yeah,
twice now, census, that they only want to hear items that require action of them. Now, when we take these rules, that item could be brought up for further discussion. Call at least 2 council meetings. They didn't take action, they didn't change the rules. Affirmative vote requires an action of theirs.
That's what I'm thinking,
Their
yeah.
preference was.
They see the meeting minutes and all that, and the reports, right, so everything gets submitted? Document that the city council looks at?
So we don't provide the minutes or anything, but in a report or a status report or if it's an actionable item, we provide them as much background information, like you had the report tonight.
Right,
Please.
so, Scott Houston, city manager. So what I'm hearing, and I'm going to try and shorthand the previous recommendation on section 4, is that in essence, the committee wants the council to see a report of all of the business of the committee. So essentially, whether items are recommended or not in some type of report to the council. Is that correct so far?
I think we were saying we wanted to only send to council things that require their action.
Yeah, and that's the distinction. I want to clarify reporting to the council versus consideration of the council, which is this item number 5. And I think what you're saying is the council should only consider affirmatively recommended actions by the committee. I think there's agreement on that.
That's a good
I
clarification.
think most of the discussion has been about whether the council should see or hear the rest of the items, whether in verbal or written form.
Watch the video.
They can, but to Carol's point, we do provide at least the same spreadsheet that you see on the status of all the items, so they do see the discussion and/or recommendations that TSEC has done over the last meeting, or in some cases, several meetings.
They already received that via report?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. So that answered my question.
Thank you, and it's in a report format where it's
Yeah.
not a discussion of action.
Just transparency, right?
Absolutely.
That's what I was looking for.
So if the issue is, yeah, that the council receives a report of the committee's business, I think that's fine, and I don't see a conflict.
I think that's what we're trying to say in 13, inform the council, not present to the council.
Right.
So inform can be any mode.
And, yeah, and we provide that, so that's not an issue.
Yeah,
And-
okay.
And if,
So-
and with that type of language, at least as I heard it, I don't think there's a conflict between that and number 5. Because I think we're still saying that for consideration should be the affirmatively recommended items.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
That's what you're hearing. Is that copacetic with the committee? So, being it's not a change, then I don't think we need to take a vote or
Yeah.
do anything about it. We just leave it in. Then we move to paragraph 8. 8.1 agendas. This change is required by law, so do anybody want to fight the sheriff?
Today.
So we have general agreement that we will recommend that be made. And in 8-4 is probably the big change we've been thinking about. And that's about once we've heard an action, how long do we have to wait to reconsider it? And initially it reads 365 days. And Al and I and Carol, I believe, she added a little bit to it. We proposed, once an item has been heard and finally acted upon the committee, it cannot be reheard unless a majority decision of the chairman, the vice chairman, and the city manager so determine. And that was the one that Al withdrew. He decided he didn't care for that.
You can X that.
So we can X that one off. And so then that left us with, once an item has been heard and finally acted upon the committee, it cannot be reheard until the second committee meeting after the committee's last action.
That sounds very reasonable.
I would like to turn that into a positive, instead of it cannot be heard, when it can be heard.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Once an
that would
item
work.
has been heard and finally acted upon by the committee, it may be reheard at the second committee meeting after the committee's last action. But
That's
I think we
good.
need to add, with a resubmittal by the requester within the appropriate time frame.
Would it be the second one or the third one, Chris? Because if it was the second one, you'd only skip one meeting.
Correct. So it's a 6-month delay instead of a year delay. It's 2 meetings instead of 4.
Yeah.
But then they would have to resubmit to meet
They
the
would have to
timeline
resubmit, yeah.
to get to that
I do
second
agree with
meeting,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Should it be the original person, or can it be anybody? I think it can be
If it's the same
anybody.
issue.
Yeah, it's the issue, it's not the person.
Right.
Do
what
we
we're
need to
saying
change
is-
any words there?
Yeah.
Be
that'd be 6
reheard with
months. That'd be 6 months later. I see what you're saying. That's good. I'll go along with
You're saying resubmittal by the requester?
I'm saying
We strike by
res-
the requester?
yes,
that. Yeah, strike by the
with a
request.
resubmittal of the issue. You
Must
could
be
say of the
resubmitted.
issue.
You have an issue if same submitter decides to get redundant and submits it every 6 months, and just constantly submit it for, year after year after year after year,
6 months.
every 6 months, like,
So I wanted just to remind the committee, originally 365. You may hear this item if you deny it.
I think they'll give up after a while if we,
people are dogged.
it's
I
true,
can
but
tell you that some of the submitters from last year, their 365 days are hitting, and
You are.
so just out of caution,
how could we handle that?
365 days, they
How about, every 6 months?
So comments on the timing, the second meeting, making it 6 months? Do you think that's too short?
Listen, I, being on other committees, when a decision is made, or a decision is not made because it was a tie vote, To me, unless there's some circumstance that we missed, that's obvious we missed it, or staff missed it, then a year, I think, appropriate before we bring it up again, unless there's a substantial issue that we missed.
So,
I don't see a reason to reconsider after 6 months if nothing has changed.
okay, but this is not a vote, as a result of a tie vote. This is as a result of a defeat of something. So
A
just
tie,
to clarify.
a tie vote is a defeat.
True.
So it
Yes.
was not
says
approved
no.
by this committee, and therefore, unless we miss something substantially, that vote should hold for 1 year.
I'll give you an example earlier last year. And Drive, the stop sign, that didn't get approved. Current rules say cannot be heard for 360, unless a new pertinent safety issue. Then you can hear it at any other meetings. What you're proposing now is they can bring it up without any new pertinent information every 6 months.
They could submit inside that 365 if something changes.
Correct. I believe it says for a period of 365, unless new pertinent safety information is provided, then it can be heard at the next meeting. I think that's where you were going, Mr. Trapasso. Wasn't the fact that it was a tie
Yeah,
vote?
if we miss something that's safety or important, that for whatever reason, we should look at it. If the circumstances have not changed, then it should be a year.
Are we creating a process when there's not unless they bring us a new pertinent information?
And that's already allowed within
That-
our rules.
That's the
Correct.
existing-
That's the existing rule. So do we need to change it at all?
Our proposals were to shorten the period,
Right.
basically. So if we're not in favor of that, we're not in favor of that.
But proposal is written, does
Yeah.
not say pertinent
I'm
information.
frankly-
It says they can put it in.
Yes.
Okay.
Agreed.
Happy with the 365, unless something comes up, so.
Just trying to recollect, what was the genesis of the shortening it to the second meeting or 6 months?
Those recommendations were made by Chairperson Schmidt and
Trying
yourself.
to,
And this, we thought it was a little long. I guess I was not thinking that it would be a problem of resubmitting all the time.
After our discussion, I think the 365 will work. I didn't realize how persistent our neighbors could be. One day.
So I have the feeling that the committee does not want to change this paragraph.
I would recommend staying with the old one.
Staying with the old one, given that it says you can, with new information, it can be resubmitted.
I'm sorry, can you bring it up just right there, right there? That is what it says currently. Once an item has been heard, that's what it says right there.
Right.
It does afford the submitter an opportunity that if something new has been, and it doesn't necessarily say submitter, if somebody else saw a new safety issue that wasn't in the original submittal.
Yeah.
So I think there is a good process in place.
Okay, I have the sense that the general agreement is to not change paragraph 8.4.
Right.
Right.
All right. Paragraph 10.1 is another specified by law paragraph. We are all in agreement that we should do that, I think. And paragraph 11.1 was suggested that the word "and the chairman" be added so that the special meeting may be called by the chairperson at the request of 2 or more members and the chairperson, or by a majority of the committee at any previous meeting. And that was suggested by the chairperson. I'm not sure, my feeling is, I'm not sure why the chairman needs to be involved. He can call by himself if he wants, and it's gonna have to be up to the city manager staff as to whether and when we can have it anyhow. So I think the chairman would be involved one way or another, however it is initiated.
I don't think it's necessary myself.
Chairperson Schmidt, if I may, did send an
Yeah.
email earlier saying that at the request of 2 members or more and the chairperson, that is not what he meant. He meant the chairperson was one of the 2. That makes a difference. He said, my addition of including the chairperson was to clarify that the chairperson is also part of the 2 requesters. And he asked that we read that to you all. So that sounds like it's the chairperson and one other member.
Or more.
Wouldn't that be redundant? Because the
Yeah.
chairperson can call one, right?
Yeah.
He can do it himself.
Right.
Yeah,
But then he added at the end of his email, maybe not needed.
okay.
So,
Not needed, correct, right, yes.
I would think it's either the chairperson alone or 2 members.
Yeah, because it says
Yes.
special meetings can be called by the chairperson,
Right,
so
Or
that's
two-
superfluous to me.
It is.
I think it's
Yeah, I
redundant.
think the distinction here is whether or not the chairperson should be involved.
It should be,
And
yeah.
my belief is they should be,
Yeah,
I think they would.
but as it's, right now, the current language without the underscore says that technically 2 people could call the meeting without the
Without
chairperson,
But with city manager coordination.
in coordination with the,
Yeah.
so. That doesn't mean that in my role I could trump that request, I would simply facilitate it.
Yeah.
Right now. Whether or not that will ever be an issue, I don't know, but that's the distinction, right? That right now it says that 2 people could call a special meeting without the coordination or the concurrence of the chair. So that may be worth a revision.
Maybe just require notification, right? Like if a meeting's called, then the rest of the committee just gets notified that, hey, there's, the chairperson called one or 2 members called one, then anybody can attend, right?
Correct.
Sure.
That the plan? Yeah.
Well,
And I
we'd
don't have a
to quorum,
recommendation
too.
for you, that's just, I'm just saying that there is a distinction between those 2 scenarios.
And I think it was purposely written that way. Want to call a meeting and the chairperson.
We think it's not necessary to change? Okay, no change. Sixteen was a question I raised, and it was just a question in my mind whether Robert's Rules of Order really covered what this paragraph says. A motion to recommend approval requiring action will require a majority favorable vote. And our committee's ruled by Robert's Rules, so isn't that the way it is? So I was just wondering to myself whether it's needed, or do we maybe just add at the beginning, in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, a motion, blah, blah, blah? Do we need clarification, or do we leave it? Just leave it alone?
Just take out the red or the pink addition, it seems to read.
Well, yeah, that's what I was maybe saying we could, but if we just leave it alone. I was just curious, wasn't sure whether we needed it or not, so. I guess it doesn't hurt anything to leave it in.
Oh, when you say leave it alone, put and the chairperson in there or?
No, I'm talking 16-1,
Oh, I'm sorry. I got.
about Robert's rules.
16.2.
Sorry about that.
2 is the one you're
Yeah.
talking about, right?
Oh,
Rules.
yeah, you're right, 16-2. Thank you.
So 16.2 doesn't need to be,
We just leave it as is. Well, I was just asking a question about it, I really wasn't,
I'm kind of neutral on it.
yeah, I think we can leave it.
so, nobody really adamant for it. We'll move on to the question of adding 16.3, which is about a tie vote. And the suggestion currently reads, in the event of a tie vote caused by a committee member's absence, the request shall be considered at a future committee meeting where all committee members are present and voting on the item. And this is really generated by the Olahase vote where we had 6 members present, and it was a tie vote. And it was caused by an absence, not abstention or any other reason. And it caused a little bit of a fall draw in that it then did not go to council for their consideration. And so we were thinking that there ought to be a mechanism to handle a tie vote for when somebody is absent.
What you're saying, Chris, is if there's a tie vote, the issue would be tabled until,
Yes,
In essence, yes.
until it can actually be
Right.
voted on and have a majority
By the whole.
either way, yes. And I think that Nolahase thing might have been the cause of the 6-month. That might have been what led to the discussion with the, making it 6 months instead of a year, yeah. I think this is a good idea.
I put a check by both of them, so they're all okay with me, so, when I review them, so.
I mean, I guess another option would be the chair would try to have a feeling for how the vote's gonna go in a tie situation, and instead of calling a vote, call for a tabling, if that's Hoyle. Is that Hoyle or not?
I think if
It
it's a
sounds
tie,
like you're voting or making decisions for the outcome to be what you want, or what the presiding officer would want. So I'm hesitant to say that that's a good idea.
For the chair to table it if he thinks there's gonna be
Yeah.
a tie?
Yeah,
Just thinks.
specifically
Okay.
like that, it sounds like, I mean, the presiding officer is supposed to preside over the meeting, not guide votes in a certain way, so I don't know about that language
Okay.
specifically.
And the rules of procedures, I'm sorry, the Robert's Rules of Procedures does mandate, does discuss what a tie vote is. Polling beforehand would be,
Okay.
but having a tie vote and then tabling it until the next, until everybody's present, is that kosher or not?
So Robert's Rules says that a tie is a fail. The only way to address it is to add language into your rules of procedure to allow for more than that. So
Okay,
Robert's Rules is the rule that we follow, so if you want to be more restrictive, then it needs to be handled in this document.
okay,
which is what you're trying to do.
yes. And that's okay to do, yeah. I think it's worth tabling an issue until everybody's here.
In essence, we're allowing it to be reheard.
Before
prior to
the,
360,
yes,
right? But
yes,
almost automatically reheard,
yes,
not depending on a resubmittal.
correct.
like at the next meeting.
When there is a quorum of 7 members at the meeting.
Hopefully it'll be the next meeting.
Because if there's 6, it could happen again.
Right, right.
So unless you
good
all
point.
want it to be on the
Good point.
next agenda, then we need to clarify that. I made the suggestion of,
That's good.
because that's the intent, to do this.
Right.
The one risk is if somebody keeps being absent and it keeps getting
Exactly.
punted, so maybe if it gets 2 tie votes, it automatically fails.
Let's just let it ride.
Then you
till-
risk your status on the committee if you miss all those meetings.
It wouldn't necessarily be the same person.
Yeah,
I
I
was the one that was absent for the Nolahase vote.
Yeah, because I think the last 3 meetings we've had,
It was
there's
me.
one missing.
It's the same rule that all the committees in the city operate under. City council has a missing member, could be a tie vote there too, so, I mean, to me, it's leave it the way it is and stay with Robert's rules.
So the submission fails for 365 days if we have 6 and there's a tie.
Yeah, and just because you have 6 doesn't always mean you're gonna have a tie.
Correct, yes, that's right. We would,
But we
they would go
did.
ahead and vote.
Yeah.
If there were 6, they'd go ahead and vote on the issue. The only issue would be then, if it was a tie, what happens to the issue? Does it die? Or can it be voted on when there are 7 present? I like that language personally, but
The way it's currently.
the way it is
proposed.
proposed.
Any comments? I mean, are we generally thinking?
I don't have a problem with
we
the
like it?
proposal.
I'll just clarify, I think the committee understands this, but this, as Carol mentioned, this would be all members, not in odd numbers. So 5 would not count either, even though it's
Correct.
it would have to be all 7 present at the same time to reconsider. But just wanted to clarify.
is this one contentious enough? We need a separate vote on this item? We'll do that. A separate,
We should do that.
separate motion on that.
Because it doesn't seem like everybody
Yeah.
agrees.
Our last one is paragraph 19.1, which was submitted by Al, and to be inserted as a new 19.1, that this document may be reviewed by the committee. Proposed amendments shall be submitted to the city council for their review and consideration. Personally, I don't think we need this, because we're doing it right now without this paragraph.
I agree with you.
And 19.2 kind of says that. We want to strengthen 19.2, but the document may be amended, which the council will amend it on their own or with the recommendation of.
Right, I wonder if
Document
Al,
me.
right, I wonder if Al thought we couldn't, but we are,
But you are.
so obviously we can.
Sort of general agreement on that then?
I don't think it's necessary.
No? Okay, then.
So what I heard, Vice Chair Debke, is that you wanted to do a vote on that one particular item,
Yes,
and then you'll do an all-encompassing vote as discussed.
yes.
Okay, got it.
So let's handle that one first, the 8.4. Is that the one?
Which one? No, 16.3.
I'm sorry, 16.3.
16,
16.2.
It's to add
It's really
16.3.
16.
It's to add the
Add
thing about the
16.3.
tie. To add 16.3 to our bylaws.
Do I hear a motion to propose a change to the TSAC rules and procedures, adding paragraph 16.3, reading, in the event of a tie vote caused by a committee member's absence, the request shall be considered at a future committee meeting where all committee members are present and voting on the item. Any discussion before we take, we ask for a motion first, right?
I'll move. So move.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, now we can have any further discussion. Oh, I'll pick
Oh,
Sharon.
sorry.
Any further discussion by the committee? Any comments from the public? All right, then, all those in favor of changing this paragraph as written and stated, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. It carries 7-0. 6-0, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I will make a motion, Chris, that we accept the revised rules as we have, let me see, that we accept the Transportation Safety Advisory Committee rules and procedures as we have discussed in our meeting today.
As we have generally agreed upon,
Yes, we have
would maybe
generally.
say? Is there a second?
I second.
Denise. All right, now, any further discussion by the committee? We proposed some changes, and we decided not to change some that were proposed.
and I just want to clarify, the next step is it will go to council with these revisions. Perfect.
Correct. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion carries 6-0. That concludes our second session of the consideration items. And that would move us on to, I would like to make an announcement. I'm sorry,
Status
I'm
report.
sorry, yes, I'm sorry, Carol.
Before you close the meeting, I need to make
We'll get there.
We know in the packet it was a little bit difficult to read, so we are going to put it on the screen, hopefully to help everyone. So this status report is of current ongoing transportation safety submittals, which is found in your packet, page 28, or on these two screens here. The first ongoing item is Front Gate and Fair Oaks Parkway intersection. We did a traffic study last year during July and August, and last month, we did a second radar study, vehicle traffic study, that has been completed. Doing the two separate studies provides information during a school session and post-school session. Results are forthcoming. At this same intersection, we have a left turn lane consideration. City Council in September authorized a hybrid left turn. The design for that was received and has been approved by staff in December. Consideration of awarding a construction contract is scheduled for tomorrow's night City Council meeting. If awarded, work is anticipated to start in the next few months. The next item is related to additional radar feedback signs. This was a council initiative. They had authorized funds for the additional signs in this year's budget. We did receive additional signs in December. And there is a radar location. This depicts all of the radar locations in the city.
Active as of right now?
Active as is right now. Unless, Grant, I have something wrong? It's correct. With the purchase of these radar signs and placed in the locations, we do consider this submittal closed, or completed, I should say. The Noli Hase speed limit reduction. On January 15th, City Council approved the first reading of an ordinance reducing the speed limit to 25 miles per hour. The second reading, as required by city ordinance, is scheduled for tomorrow night's City Council meeting. The speed limit reduction submittal on Ralph Fair Road, or FM 3351. On December 4th, TxDOT did do a presentation at City Council of a recent traffic study they did on their own. The findings justified a reduction to 50 miles per hour. TxDOT,
That's within city limits
correct.
and south.
Portions
Yeah.
beyond the city limits, yes. TxDOT anticipates installing the signs in April, no later, around the April timeframe. After the installation of those signs, staff will present to City Council an amending speed limit ordinance so that we can enforce the speed limit. Additionally, there was a speed limit reduction on Post Oak and Silver Spur. This was a council initiative. On December 4th, an ordinance reducing the speed limit to 30 miles per hour on both roads passed. The new speed limit signs are in place, thus this safety item is also considered completed. That's it. You guys done a lot of work.
I just have a dumb question. If the TxDOT puts up speed limit signs, don't they enforce them in the city limits? Or,
No. They don't have a police force.
okay, oh, that's true.
Yes, and then for us to enforce it, we have to have an ordinance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great work, Carol. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
I have a couple of announcements, and the first is that our next meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, May 6th at 3 months from now. And I would like to encourage the members and the public to participate in the city's efforts to update the 2026 strategic plan by answering the What Do You Think questionnaire. A link to that questionnaire is on the city's website. Does any other committee member wish to make an announcement? I'll get to you, Frank. Announcements? Okay, then, does any committee member wish to suggest an agenda item for a future meeting that does not require an official request requiring a written request?
Yes, I would like to request that the committee place what I call a workshop on Ammon Road on our next May meeting. I know there's a lot going on Ammon. There's going to be more traffic with the Post Oak coming on. The road, as we know, is in bad shape. I just want to know as much as we can to discuss the safety issue, the speeding issue, stop sign issues, the 90-degree curve issues. Only request I make of the committee is that if you do not travel that road, please go down to Ralph Fair, go up Ammon to the 90-degree curve, then cross Ralph Fair again and drive the Comel County Road. I believe it's going to look a lot like our new road. The only difference is that Comel County Road is now at 35 miles an hour, and the one in Fair Oaks is 45. So I'd like to put that for a workshop for our next meeting on May 6th. Thank you.
There's nothing regarding that on the agenda, so we cannot discuss that, so that's just a notification.
So I just want to clarify, you just want a committee workshop. Nobody is submitting any form. Staff is not going to be required to do anything because I do not have an official form.
Carol, I just want to see, I know how I feel. I just want to see how the members of the Transportation Committee feel. And if they feel at that point we have to fill out forms and get the staff involved, we
Perfect.
should. But right now, just the committee discussion.
Thank you.
Grant, does your open house on Monday cover?
There's an open house on Monday. Believe it's covering that second curve is going to be mitigated. And they've invited some folks from Ammon Road to attend. The folks that I talked to are in that Stone Creek subdivision. And they've asked me a couple of times what's going on with Ammon. So I'd like us to discuss it, and then if we want to make a motion to move on something, do it at the next meeting.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dupke. The open house on Monday is from 4 to 6 p.m. in the PD training room. Staff will be providing a presentation on a project overview, the project limits, what the schedule is going to be like, how we're going to phase and implement the traffic control plan and the detour routes. And
That's
you're
on
right.
Monday, Grant?
That's on Monday here
And
in
what
the PD
time?
training. 4 to
4
6.
o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No other adjustment or announcements? Then the meeting is adjourned at 3:57 PM. Thank you all.